So here's a quick video on how I go about air pressure testing as I build the computer, as I build the loop, you know. And ultimately this means that at the end I only have to do, like, I don't know, half an hour, 1 hour leak test, if that really. So in front of me now is a radiator. I've recently removed 2 of these, both the same, from my loop, and I replaced them with XE360s from EK. So anyway, this is basically how I build. So, you know, I got my compression fittings. These are monsoon compression fittings, and I screw them into the radiator. Now I'm just going to do it hand tight because that's good enough to compress the O-ring. There is actually a flat tool that sort of fits in the slot in the compression fitting itself, in the base fitting. Whoops, just dropped one. And you know, use that to tighten them up. But it's good enough for hand tight. As long as it compresses the O-ring, then it will make a seal. And then basically get my tube, put the collar over the tube, put the tube over the compression fitting, and then tighten the collar down. There's also a tool as well that you can use to tighten the collar down, because it's got a little slot, or it's got these little notches in the top of the collar, and you can use those notches and the tool in order to tighten it down onto the base of the fitting. So basically, put it on the second one, screw it down. Now, in order to see whether that is fully sealed now, what I do is, rather than wait until the end, until the build is complete, and use something like an EK pressure tester, or, you know, whatever else, what I do is put my mouth over one tube, one end, and put my thumb over the other tube, and then basically blow down. Now, if you feel the sort of equalization, you know, the pressure build up in your ears, you know, as if you've been swimming and you sort of hold your nose and you blow down to sort of get the water out of your ears. It's the same sort of feeling. You know, all you're doing is blowing down. If you don't feel any leaks, if you don't sort of get that equalization feeling in your ears, and you don't get any leaks from the fittings, then essentially that part of what you've just built, that part of the loop, then you know it's fine. You know it's that is sealed. And then, you know, you'd maybe add this pipe here onto a block, and then put another pipe on the other end, and then you'd do the same thing again. You'd get the other pipe with the block in the middle, and you'd blow down this end, and you'd put your thumb over the other pipe coming from the other, you know, from say the CPU block or the GPU block or whatever. And if you get that same equalization feeling in your ears, and you don't sort of feel like there's a leak, then that part of the loop is sealed. I mean, I've recently built, you know, my system, and I mean, pretty much that's exactly what I did. You know, each part of the loop, I just used that equalization thing with my ears, blowing down one end, and that's it. I mean, I did a leak test for half an hour, booted into Windows, did another quick leak test, you know, with everything connected, and it's running fine. You know, that's it. I mean, you don't need to do a 24-hour pressure test, you know, a 24-hour leak test. I mean, you don't even need to use the EK pressure tester. I mean, you can do if you really need to.